Arcade1up's Casinocade goes on pre-order. Street Fighter 2 Deluxe is revealed, and are they two sides of the same coin? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades. And yes, I'm much more tan than the last time you saw me. Been a feverish, crazy couple days, actually. Down in Florida. No, I'm sorry, down in Alabama. Had a great time on the Gulf Shores, on the beach, relaxing. We wrapped that stuff up, all the activities yesterday, around noonish, I guess, maybe a little bit later, maybe 2 o'clock. And then we said, you know what? Why don't we just go home early? Because I didn't think I was going to be able to actually come and have a show this weekend at all because I have to catch a flight on Sunday. So we decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and head back. So got back today about 2:30 and put together a show. We got some stuff to talk about. Some disappointment, perhaps some excitement. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on which way you fall on this particular batch of reveals. One was highly anticipated or expected, and one was really shrouded with a lot of mystery, a little bit of Easter eggs, a little bit of teasing here and there. We're going to talk about all that tonight. But yeah, the vacation was awesome. Thanks everybody for the messages saying, hey Fox, stop posting, stay on vacation. And I did. I stayed on vacation, but every once in a while I had to post about stuff. Come on, this is my hobby. This is what I enjoy. This is what I do because I enjoy it. So anyway, vacation was awesome. Got to catch a flight tomorrow, but I'm glad to be back tonight here with you to hang out and talk a little bit about what happened this week. Arcade1up stealing the headlines for the most part. What's stealing my glass tonight? We've got some Basil Hayden toast. I went back to the well and got some more Basil Hayden toast. Just really good. I actually got home and unpacked and cleaned up and all that, and I realized I'm out of bourbon, and it's the worst thing in the world to realize you're out of bourbon, especially when you're going to do a podcast where you speak about the bourbon in which you drink. So cheers to everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. I know you may be burnt out a little bit by some of this coverage. Let me tighten that up just a little bit. Is that better? Is that worse? Camera 1, camera 2. I never get this thing just exactly right. That's fine. Good enough. It's a lot of coverage on one cabinet. I get it. But this is what happens when you have a company like Arcade1up, really the only player in the space putting out new stuff, and they don't put out that much new stuff. But we're going to talk about it because I was really hoping for something maybe a little bit different. I think some of you were too. So there's a lot to discuss, a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. Speaking of that, let's talk about the poll question in the chat. Every week we have a poll question. This week is no different. Episode 112 of this week. 112. Crazy. So many episodes, so little time. The question in the poll, the poll question in the chat is simply this. I want everybody to rate your level of excitement for the new Arcade1up Street Fighter Deluxe cabinet, the thing that they just revealed at Evo. If you don't know what we're talking about, don't vote in the poll just yet. We're going to talk about it in great detail tonight, and you can vote later on, kind of rate your excitement based on what we talk about tonight. Already got 57 votes. It's really good. Jump up there. Let your voice be heard because I really want to know how everybody's feeling. This is definitely something that could go either way. But the poll question, like I said, rate your excitement. I gave you 4 options this time. Super. You're super excited. It's exactly what you wanted. All your prayers have been answered. Probably not too many people are going to fall in that category. Then you've got a positive excitement, right? Your excitement is positive, right? It's on the plus side. You think that there's more good than bad here. You could be neutral. That's your third option. You're just like, well, it's my excitement is blah, it's not really there. I might catch it on sale. Maybe you're really not excited about it. Well, your excitement is just sort of neutral. You don't mind it either way. Or you have negative excitement, which I don't even know how you could measure that, but maybe that would be considered disappointment. And basically it's rehash garbage. You're just not into it. So your excitement level is low. It's very low. So let me know what you think about that. Interested okay. I'm looking at the results right now. I'm not going to talk about it just quite yet because I want everybody to jump up there and vote. And like I said, if you don't know all the details about the cabinet, don't worry. I'm going to go through it in excruciating detail for sure. So let me just click that real quick. Before we go anywhere, I got to bring this up just real quick. Let me scroll down. We have a live breaking update from the best. I'm not even going to say the best worst. I'm going to say the best field correspondent for all things arcade, B. Comments are us. Hi, Fox in chat. I'm all Evo. He's all Evo'd out, waiting to fly home finally. I'm hoping that means you're in the airport and you're ready to go home. Man, I'll say it now. I'll say it publicly. I'll say it to everybody. Thank you so much for the coverage you gave us. It's really cool to see one of us there hanging out with them and asking some of the tough questions. So I do appreciate it. I also appreciate some of the pictures you shared with me. We're going to talk about that in detail tonight. Buddy, rest up. You've done well, sir. You've done well. Damn fine job. Thank you so much again for just helping out with helping us all out with the coverage. It's sorely needed. You know, I got to say, in a way, it's really, really cool to see a community member being the one that kind of, what is going on with my camera? Seeing a community member be the one to really kind of, you know, take the reins and cover this stuff. We get his perspective, which is somewhat, no matter how you shake it out or which way you fall on this, it's our view, I think, for the most part. You know, it's not really, it doesn't have the lens on it, right? The corporate lens. So it's nice to have that for sure. But I think that it's definitely something that's missing with Arcade1up. It's definitely, I mean, once they sort of just had a few stumbles, stopped doing their show, the coverage just like came to just an abrupt halt. And while we had some critique and some criticism of that coverage, I think some coverage would be nice. It's at this point, right? I think it's necessary. No matter how little you know, the number of releases, we need to know something. We need to hear something. So it's great to have B out there in the field, the best, worst, best field reporter. Thanks again, man. Fly home, get home safe, and hug the wife and kids for us because we thank you. You're a good soldier. You did good. So anyway, so we talked about the poll question. I'm going to take another sip of the Basil Hayden toast. Saturday night streams are, you know, this is not going to be a normal thing. Next week, I am going to be back doing the normal Sunday night this week's show. It's just kind of weird the way things have fallen. I have to travel tomorrow and then I had vacation. So this is just, we're just going to have fun. We're going to rock on with the show, but we got to go. We got to say hi to a bunch of you in the chat. A lot of you stopping by. First comment of the night is going to be Gotham City Arcade. Hey, Battle, 2 words, rehashed, suck. I'm guessing I know how you voted in the poll. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for commenting about the suck. And it is in full effect for Gotham City Arcade. Video Game Vegas, what is going on, buddy? How you doing? Well, this is a surprise. You know I won't turn down a Saturday Fox stream. I wonder if we'll get some news of a hidden game on the new Arcade1up Street Fighter. AVP, perhaps? That would be... like, I would lead with that. I would be like... Now, I am... wearing the shirt, wearing the AVP shirt. We all know they could have done it. There was a little bit of excitement on some of the behind-the-scenes conversations that we had with Cyrus. I wasn't able to be on some of the shows because I was on vacation, but I was able to kind of partake of in a conversation with Cyrus. And yeah, I think it was actually Michael B. I was so my connection was spotty. Michael B. said, "Listen, Fox, I know you can't hear him, but he spoke for me. He said, 'Hey, when are you doing AVP?'" And it's one of the games we're looking for. We've heard this before. AVP is definitely an exciting title, and they want to do it. We know that they can do it, you know, their hardware, there's no hardware limitations, right? It's a CPS2 title. We know they can run it. They made 4-player games and 4-player cabs and 3-player cabs. And that's not even a question. Can they do it? Yeah. Are they allowed to? The licensing is probably a big nightmare. What else would go in the cabinet? That's a whole nother topic for no other video. But yeah, I wish, but a huge success guild. How you doing, buddy? One day, our time crisis will come. Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. I think you should expect, you can probably expect an announcement from Arcade1up about time crisis. I would say, 1st of September, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. This month is probably out, but probably the first couple weeks, maybe in September, some kind of an announcement. We've had this happen. We've had this drop, this reveal happen. I think they'll probably wait a month at least before they try to officially announce the thing we already know is coming. So keep your clothes on, keep your pants on, and eventually, you know, it'll happen, right? JJ has 2 comments. I'll read the second one. As for my thoughts, and thank you so much for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate you. Always hanging out, always in the chat. I don't think that Casinocade is going to sell Diddley Squat. He said he invoked the Diddley, the Squat. Oh, they did leave. I could see a few retirement homes buying them and perhaps a Wheel of Fortune mega fan, but that's about it. Well, as we know, Nicole is she's a mega fan, an Arcade1up representative, gigantic, huge Wheel of Fortune fan, watches it every night with her family, and she's excited to have this in her home. Is she telling the truth? I would never accuse her of lying. Cobretti, Kai. How the hell are you, buddy? Did you change your name? Or is this another account? Marion Cobretti. Very good movie. Very good movie indeed. Sorry, Fox. I'll be watching SummerSlam. I will not hold it against you. I'll catch the replay. And yes, I changed my name. Okay. Well, there you go. See, before I see, pay attention. From Cobra Kai. This one is funnier. It is. It's a mashup, right? It is. It's absolutely a mashup. Thank you so much for commenting. Yeah. Catch the show on the replay. It's fine. It's no problem. I appreciate it. Watch it any way you can. But when you watch it, smash a thumbs up, kid. I really do appreciate it. Beach Native 78. How the hell are you? Good to see you. Hey, Foxy and Chet. How's the vacation? How was the vacation? It was good. The drive home was a little fast and furious, but it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Did you watch King's stream? B's stream? Kong's stream, I guess is what you're trying to say. I did. I watched that stream. Watched it today. I caught up on all my streams today. It was dope. B went... on so he I think he expressed the appropriate amount of outrage. Sometimes you got to kind of keep your comments section in check. You know, you got to tighten things up a little bit, especially when you're trying to get some real questions asked of an official Arcade1up representative. Can't wait for tonight's stream. Smash that like button. Listen, great advice. And you got to take it. Smash the like button, people. Listen, I don't even have the hat on backwards tonight because I'm freshly showered. And I got the sun glow on the forehead. Doesn't always happen. So you got to rock it. Yeah, the first day, a little bit of a burn going on there. But I'm feeling better. Feeling pretty good. Jolly Green is in the house. Hope you had a great vacation. I did love the look of the new Street Fighter cab, but it's not enough for me to upgrade. That's the biggest question because you know why? Jolly is waiting for the XL. There's a whole nother discussion to happen right there because I think that's serious based on some of the stuff we've heard from Cyrus himself. Shannon Zahn is in the house, buddy. How are you? Good to see you once again. Hey, Fox, happy to see you. Looking forward to the show. No on the Casinocade. What? And no on the Street Fighter 2 unless it is linkable with. I thought you were saying if it was linkable with Fast and Furious, you would definitely get it. How's it gonna? Well, there is a stage in Street Fighter where you can fight a car, so maybe that's what he was talking about. Battle Circuit and Captain Commando are a 4-player game. Yes, that would be cool. I mean, does it really cost them anything to add the linked cab feature? Honestly, there has to be some programming, some allocation of some assets inside, the program itself. I'm sure it takes up some space. It has some memory, but could it be something you could just throw on every cab? Could you have a head-to-head if somebody wanted to buy 2 of these? And listen, these are only $500, brand new. So I think it's probably more likely that you would have a couple of these, back-to-back plugged in. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. It could be something that they could start adding on some of these cabs to kind of maybe up the value, or just it's a feature that, it's something to put on the box, right? Besides, crisp monitor for sure. New games or XL time. XL is going to be a blessing and a curse for Arcade1up, as we will shortly see. Carlos Sanchez in the house saying, "What's up, Fox? I'm ready to talk." He's ready to talk. I'm ready to listen. And I'm also ready for a super sweet $5 super chat from the Carlos Sanchez. He says, "I like the new form factor for the Deluxe Street Fighter. Something tells me we might get it in an XL form factor, so I'm going to wait." That's going to be one of the biggest issues for Arcade1up. I think moving forward, no matter what they release, everybody's going to be thinking, is it going to come out in XL form factor? Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. The very first super chat of the week. You know what that means? You got to go to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Ms. Harris is in the house. Janine, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by and chatting. I really want to know what games will be on the Time Crisis. See, everybody's looking past this cab already and talking about Time Crisis. But I did pay for Wheel of Fortune to have different choices people can pick from. Yeah, you're going to have the 4 games on Time Crisis. You're going to have Time Crisis 1, You're going to have Point Blank, and you're going to have Steel Gunner 1 and 2. Unless they do something wild and crazy and add another game before it's released, maybe DLC down the road. They have not ruled that out. Next year, we could definitely see that as a potential adder. But on that particular cabinet, I don't know. Maybe they would add Point Blank 2. I don't know what they would add. Boo 2 and Duck. How you doing? Foxo. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. A Tran Fanatic. Hey, Fox, finally got the Z rolling again. Thank goodness. I know you've been fighting that for quite some time. Turned out I was missing washers for the calipers on the rotors and was rubbing on the bolt. Well, that makes hindsight's 2020. It makes sense when it's obvious now, isn't it? But at the time, you're probably racking your brain. Now on to the intake exhaust gasket. 75 Firebird is firing up soon, too. You just got a whole slew of vehicles, man. Thank you so much for stopping by and check out the channel. Best of luck to all your automotive challenges. Jason M., how the hell are you, buddy? Look forward to the show tonight. Glad you're back safely. I am safe. Well, I'm back, I guess. I don't know. Hope it was an enjoyable vacation. It absolutely was. Matinks, you're missing the R, so it's not the Matrix. Says, I'm only interested in new games or XL cabs. A lot of people are feeling the same thing you're feeling. You're not alone in that camp. Kevin Clausen says, Fox, do you have any pinballs? No, I do not. This is the only non-pinball channel, and it feels space. You know what? I'm going to occupy this non-pinball space, and it's pretty easy to do when you consider these cabinets or these pinball machines / tables. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the vernacular, but I know they're quite expensive. $8,000, $10,000. Yeah, I think I'll just stay right where I am for now. Now, that's not to say that I won't eventually get a pinball machine / table, whatever you call it. I won't get one of these machines in the future, perhaps, but right now my focus is on getting the arcade finished and wrapping up some of these bigger projects I have behind me. I don't know if you've noticed, this 17-inch monitor is just not going to cut it. I got to get that fixed. And then there's a big hole here. You can kind of see right there. There's a monitor's missing. I did get some things in for that. We're going to talk about that in just a second. The Nerd Jock Podcast says, hey, Fox, hope you had a great vacation. I did. Thank you so much. Vacation with the family. I did. I'm excited for the stream. I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited. Let's keep it rolling for sure. Soul Red says, still waiting on an official announcement for Time Crisis. Looking forward to the Casinocade. I think next month. First part of next month, maybe. September-ish. I think we should definitely see something. Terry B is in the house looking forward to the show. Fox, man, thank you for looking forward to this show. As always, John J. Hey, Fox, welcome back. Me and my family just got back from Ocean City, Maryland yesterday. Hope you had a great vacation. I did, and hope you had a great vacation. Glad you're probably glad you're home. You're relaxing. Now you need a vacation from your vacation. Tends to happen that way. Jim Pacers fan. Hello, all. Looking forward to the show. Is Saturday your new night now? Just temporary. Last week and this week, it's just temporary. I'm going to go back to Sunday. I promise. That is the comfortable time spot that I like to live in. That's where we're going to stay. This is just temporary while, travel and vacation kind of throws a wrench in everything. Goon Squad is in the house. I'm breathlessly waiting for Casinocade news. Well, don't hold your breath any longer, buddy. It's coming. Sort of. At least my 2 cents. Dark Empire says, time to go to the Fox Cave. Absolutely. Come to the Fox Cave, where we will have discussions. Stringer Films, I'll be down at Orange Beach a week from today. Dude, enjoy yourself. Kick your feet up. It's hot. It's really hot down there. It's really hot. Night Shadow, 19K Box Kids, are we ever going to see Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Street Fighter Officers coming to Arcade1up? I can't imagine it's going to be too long. I mean, they can do it. They can do CBS 2. They can basically do, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is Naomi. I don't know what port they did. I don't know exactly 100% exactly what port or version or whatever they did to make it run, but they were able to make it run. So I can't imagine it's outside of their technical, capabilities. I think they can do it. It's just a matter of when. Maybe they run just at Street Fighter 2, just let it run its course and finish up and get all the way to XL, and then they start over with, the 17-inch 3/4 scale. Maybe it has a riser. It's Street Fighter Cab, Street Fighter Alpha, hey, and then it just keeps going. And then they just start the cycle again, maybe. I don't know. So basically what you're going to have to do is when they come out with their Alpha cabinet or Street Fighter 3, you're going to have to wait 3 years. And then you'll get it in the XL form factor, which is what you wanted from the very beginning. Gamer Fridge says, hey, Fox, I put your video on the iArcade. Been having fun modding it out. Oh, you watched it. You didn't put my video on the arcade. Yeah, it's It has some limitations, but it's definitely a solid build. It's a good cabinet. What's the future of it? I don't really know. It's kind of up in the air right now for sure. For sure. Let me scroll down a little bit. Let me try to get caught up. Weapon X, easy, buddy, easy. Put the claws down. We're all friends here. Yes, thanks for the coverage, Kong. Absolutely. B Kong is the man. He is the man. Paul, how you doing, buddy? It's just too little, too late. End of story. It's a valid point of view. A lot of people are like, yeah, this is great, but you could have gave us this 2 years ago. Once again, great advice. Great advice is out there. And when you see it, when you receive it, you got to take it. Smash the like button. Smash it. It's the right thing to do, peeps. Thank you so much, Snowed Up, in the comments section, moderating like a mofo. Thank you so much, Carl O's in the house. Is it Sunday? I am so confused. No, it's not Sunday. It is Saturday, but I won't be here Sunday. So I got to do a show tonight. Got to talk about this stuff. I got to talk about it. Miss Tammy G is in the house. Loving the picture, by the way. Not too shabby. Of all the images to choose, that is one of them, and it's not bad. Hope all is good with you at 19K Fox. It is. It's very good. And it's getting a little bit better with a $5 super chat from Vic Vicious 75. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. $4.99. Late to party, watching SummerSlam and Paul versus Diaz fight. Send me to the pit. I am here for you. It's already happened, but you know what? I could do it again.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I know there's a lot going on tonight, so you are all forgiven. You're forgiven for not watching me live. It's okay. It's okay. We can't be everywhere all at once. And I know it's kind of a weird time slot. I'll let it slide this one time. And, it hurts a little bit, but you know what makes it better? You know what kind of heals that wound just a little bit? Not just the bourbon in my glass, but this $5 super chat. Thank you so much, OL Blue Eyes. OL Blue Eyes? Old Blue Eyes? Old Blue Eyes? Is this Frank Sinatra? Did you not die? You're still alive? That's awesome. And you're a Steelers fan. I had no idea. $5 super chat. Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Excited about the upgrades for the future Dynamo cabs with new game titles, reverse printed marquee, riserless design, more durable control deck. Patience, Daniel-san. Patience. Absolutely. Patience is a virtue. But, sometimes we're just too impatient to exercise patience. Yes, patience is a virtue, and so is giving super chats. Like this $5 super chat from Kevin Clausen. Thank you so much for another $5 super chat. Guys, I really do appreciate it. Really helps out the channel. No backwards hat? I'm concerned about the direction of the channel. Just kidding. Well, every once in a while I don't wear the hat. The hat is I had to wash the hat. I wore the hat down at the beach, and the salt water gets into it, and it kind of I gotta clean the hat. Okay, I can't have a nasty hat, backwards or frontwards, doesn't matter. It's got to look right, especially with the the white trucker hat style in the back. If that gets a little dingy, we can't be having that on this channel. We have standards. I'm pretty sure. I checked with HR. They said that we have standards. I mean, some channels, but or substandards, but they didn't really like, of all the standards that we supposedly have, they didn't really like this clip. Finish. They said it was too scandalous. Too scandalous indeed. But it is what it is. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me this Saturday. And 130 people here. Awesome. I love each and every one of you. Platonically. I don't want to get anybody's wife mad at me or husband. I guess, boy, did I say that wrong. Well, how about before I keep talking, before it goes any worse, before it goes off the rails anymore, we talked about what's in my glass. We talk about the chat. Let me know what your excitement level is for this new reveal. Let's go ahead and get into the first topic. So before we get into one of the main topics, I had some notes for you tonight. I want to talk about a couple things. I did post these, did some community posts, but I wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit more. I got something in today. There is a big video planned for the channel, and it just requires a lot of stuff. Okay, and usually this stuff comes in a couple of shipments, and that's it. The video that I'm talking about is going to be the get that out of here. It's going to be the monitor, the new Unico 26-inch LCD arcade replacement monitor. I'm very excited about getting this thing together, but there's some stuff that I wanted to do because I want to put this in a real cab. And the cab that really needed it was the Cruising World cab. It had that 16:9. It was like a 27-inch TV or 32-inch, whatever the hell it was. It was the wrong aspect ratio. I didn't like it. And the way that was installed, they really just took a piece of plywood and just kind of shoved it in place, and then took a couple pieces of small pieces of plywood and kind of screwed them to the inside. And I thought that wasn't going to be really helpful for a lot of people that were trying to put this in a real cab. So a couple things had to show up. I had to dismantle some of the mounts, some of that makeshift mount in there, take the TV out. The glass, they had spray painted black on the other side so that you wouldn't see the fact that it was a TV, right? I had to clean all that up. And I had to get a plastic bezel, those nice plastic bezels to kind of recess in and sort of focus your eyes inward to the cab. So I wanted to get one of those. And then the last thing that I was missing was a set of these. These are Midway monitor mounts. I had all the hardware on the outside of the side panels, but I didn't have the brackets that would actually bolt in a CRT. You can see here's a stud right here. No, not this stud. Sorry, moving on. There's a stud mounted here, and then this is the this is a bracket. I don't know if this. I don't think this is a brand new fabrication, but it does look like maybe it's new old stock. This thing, I don't know if this has ever been installed. Well, no, I take that back. You can see the rings where they put the washer or the nut there. So it's been installed at some point. But anyway, really good looking. So I had to find a set of mounts to get this thing back to sort of stock. So this came in, the set of monitor mounts came in, and that was really, really good. Those brackets, like I said, they're super heavy duty. I wanted the cab to be as stock as possible before we go through that. So I'm glad that got here. Excited to get that done for sure. That's going to be really fun because now I got all the pieces so we can put that together. A couple of things. I'm really jumping on the Evercade bandwagon. If there is a bandwagon to be jumped on involving the Evercade, that's where I'm at for sure. Sorry. Yeah, okay. I mean, probably. P-Dubs, you're rarely wrong. Honestly, you're rarely wrong. But I am jumping on this Evercade bandwagon, and like I said, I got my 3 because I pre-ordered the Capcom version, the small handheld, the different form factor of the Evercade, because I thought that was really cool. And for $60, it wasn't that bad. And I'm a Capcom fanboy anyway, so I got a couple of these really cool kind of weird collections that they have going on, weird games, officially licensed, but just some odd stuff, really oddities. And the first, and they're usually, these cartridges are usually compilations and collections and all that. The first single game cart that they've ever come out with is is Full Void. It's a new game coming out. And it looks really good. I know it's been out for Steam and stuff before, but I went ahead and I wanted to pick this up. So I got this. And then but I didn't just want to get this. I wanted to go and get the special edition because it's not that much more. It's like $30, right? I mean, you have a $20 for the standard cart and $30 for this. And it's, what really gets me, it's not so much the included booklets and stickers and posters. It's the fact that the cartridge is blue. Yes, I am just that shallow. I can't help myself. I did post a link in my community page if you wanted to check this out too. It's kind of hard to find some of these because they're based in the UK. It's kind of hard to find a place that will deliver or ship to the US. So I found a Canadian website, and it's pre-ordered, it's ready to go. So that is coming next month, I think. I'm probably going to get that before I get my actual handheld. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I know I'm kind of a weirdo, but it is what it is. And so anyway, along the same lines of the Evercade and the games that are coming out, another big one that everybody's fired up about is obviously the Duke Nukem collection. I went to pre-order that also. I know that was announced a little while back when the thing was gone. I can't find it. Where the hell is it? Well, I figured out why. Now, this is not new. This didn't happen this week. I know. Please don't destroy me in the comment section. I know this didn't happen technically this week, and the show is called This Week. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. Back in June 1st, Blaze Entertainment did make a statement, and I thought this was definitely worth sharing. I don't know if everybody knows about this. Like I said, this is, a month, 2 months old at this point now, but I wanted to bring it up. They issued a statement saying that over the last 24 hours, they were humbled by the support and the excitement about the Duke Nukem, coming to Evercade. As part of this, an artist was commissioned to produce a lead, and I'm just reading from the article. This is just a portion of their statement. Commissioned to produce a lead image of the new Duke Nukem 1 and 2 remastered game developed by Blaze Entertainment. It is abundantly clear from the response on social media that the work on this commission has fallen below the expectation and standards demanded by fans due to the artist's use of AI in the process. We are immediately removing the art where possible to do so, and we'll be announcing a replacement commission in due course that better meets the high standard expected. So basically, if you can't find it, if you find it, maybe if you found out about it later on and now you're trying to pre-order the cab or the cab, not the cab, but the cart, and you can't find it, that's going to be the issue. They actually took it down to redo the artwork, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, the fact that right now AI it's kind of like a cheat code, but I think eventually it's going to become the standard. I mean, AI is just going to be a quick and fast and easy way to get art done, for pennies on the dollar. I mean, you're not going to have to pay a human being. You're just going to use AI. And like I said, it's kind of cheating now, but I think eventually someday this is going to be the norm. But for right now, it's not. They want a real artist to make a real original piece of art. I think that's really cool. The only thing that kind of sucks is that, you can't really find it to pre-order right now. So I'm excited to get this thing when it is available. So look for that. I'm definitely going to get that because I got to have that. I got to have my Duke Nukem. And then I'm probably going to be really happy with, well, I hope I'm going to be happy with the small collection I've assembled for my Arcade thus far. Now, is my little Capcom handheld going to be the gateway drug to the EXP? Perhaps, maybe. But I think for now, I'm going to be happy. This little experiment of a regression of taking, having a console and then having carts and collecting the carts. It's something that I'm excited about, being an older gamer. This is what we always used to do. I still do this from time to time. I still have my Sega Genesis collection over here with my Arcade1up, Sega Genesis cab. I like collecting the carts. Is that going to translate to real success for the company, for Evercade? I don't know. I hope so. But, maybe it just remain a small niche product. But as long as it gets some decent support, some decent love from the community and from people that are just, if you support these initiatives, these returning to a norm, returning to a different time, some of these things that are resisting the digital tidal wave, I mean, eventually it's just going to go that way, right? You're not going to be able to physically buy games. I mean, Limited Run is doing their thing, but Evercade is it's based on physical media. And I think it's a big thing to support if you think it's appropriate, if you think it's something that you enjoy. Don't just support it to support it. If you enjoy this, throw your money at it, buy these things are $10 or not $10. They're $20 or $30, these carts, once you get the system. So it's kind of cool. But we vote with our dollars too. So make sure you're voting for the stuff you actually want, because the last thing you want to do, the last thing we ever want to do is spend money on stuff that we don't really want, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting more of that stuff. That I can think of no better segue than to go. Let's just slide right into the Casinocade. It actually became available finally. Man, here we go. We've got the ability now to pre-order the Casinocade that was $4.99 and then it was $5.99, but it was available exclusively at Best Buy, but then they sold out, but then they didn't sell out, so it's back again. So as of today, as of a couple hours ago, it's available. Here you go. Release date is in September 5th. That's what they're saying. $600. So it's a 10-inch touchscreen. It is a touchscreen, so it's like an iPad. It's like an iPad that you have to stand up to use. It's like an iPad that you have to stand up to use that is located in a very specific part of your house, and you have to go there to use it. So it's like taking all of the portability, and some would say all the advantages of an iPad, and removing those advantages, and giving you this. And it's something that the great thing about this, though, is that you can actually, it costs more than an iPad. So you're losing a lot of the functionality of the iPad, but you're also paying more. So that's good. It's a solid business plan. I don't think so. Now, I'll acknowledge 100%. Not everything is made for me. Yes, I know. Shocking. You would think that, Fox, everything should be made for you. You deserve everything you want. Well, listen, kids, life doesn't always give you what you want. You don't always get what you want. I'm sitting here with my AVP shirt showcasing a cab that I had to make my damn self because they just didn't give me what I wanted. But it's okay. You deal with it, right? This Casinocade could be exactly the same thing. It's just something just not for me. But maybe it's for you. Maybe it's for other people. I keep hearing that grandma really wants one, that my wife really wants one, that this is something for the women. And okay, but of all the people that are excited in this photo, uh which one do you think is maybe more excited? Uh the woman in this picture or the guy in this picture? Just saying, because this, I think a lot is conveyed here by what's going on here, and I think I'm kind of with her. I'm kind of with Nicole. She's now no, I know she's a big fan. I know that's what she said. She said it in the video. She watches Wheel of Fortune every night, and she's hoping that like a little bit of like a little Pat Sajak and a Vanna White will pop out the control panel, and then like AI, not AI, but like a virtual reality or like a little projected image, or like, oh, I know, if it was like you remember when there was this movie? Oh, what was the name of the movie? Star Wars. Remember Star Wars when the image came out of R2D2, and it was a little projection, and it was a little small Princess Leia, and she was talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi and my only hope and all that. If it was just like that, if you had little projections, little holograms of Pat Sajak and Vanna White just kind of coming out, and they could tell you that you're stupid for wasting $600. Okay, listen, it's not for me. I get it. So how do you make sense as an arcade enthusiast? How do you make sense of it? How do you rationalize this? Because it's difficult for me to think that this is just a total waste of time. I just don't get it. I don't see it. I don't get it. I don't understand how this, I know everybody says, oh, it'll sell a ton on QVC, or it'll sell a ton if you talk to people that really like to gamble. So here's an device that will offer you the ability to win no money. But here you go. Oh, by the way, spend $600 on it. Well, I'm sorry, $599 plus tax, depending on where you buy it, plus shipping. But Best Buy, free shipping. At least you have that. You can finance it. You can finance it. Starting to seem like a pyramid scheme, or maybe a scandal or a scam. Only if you don't like it. And I know there's some people that really like it. I've heard some people they've ordered it day one. I'm going to get this. It's going to be like a great addition to my arcade. And I get that. You want to diversify. It's not a bad word in this context. You want to add some diversity to your arcade. And I get it. I've got real arcades. I got Arcade1ups. I got some XLs. If you wanted to throw a claw machine in the corner, you want to have a dartboard on the wall, you want to have a pool table, you want to change it up, that's fine. Knock yourself out. And maybe this is exactly what, you're looking for. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of those one for you, one for me type things. What I'm talking about is like in movies, okay? A movie studio will get a big director, and they'll say, Christopher Nolan, we want you to come in. We want you to come in and direct a Barbie movie. I know he didn't direct the Barbie movie, but let's just stay with me. Christopher Nolan, you're a great, awesome Oscar-winning actor, or let's say Steven Spielberg. We want you to come in, not the Barbie movie. We want you to come in, and we want you to direct the Basil Hayden Toast bourbon movie. And it's just a movie about a guy making bourbon and then drinking it. And it's 2 hours of a guy he makes one bottle and he pours it in the glass and he drinks it. And that's all that happens. And it's one character and that's it. And he says, okay, I'll do it. But I know you want me to make this movie and I'll do it. But I want to make this other small little artsy piece. And it's for me. So we're talking about movies. I'm okay, well, that's one for you, but I want one for me. So maybe this arcade, maybe this thing, maybe this Casinocade, maybe it's okay, this is one for you, but this is one, but I'll do this, but there's one for me, right? But what if it's one for you, maybe there's none for me. Maybe there is no me. I think the me in this analogy is you and I. The arcade enthusiasts, the arcade fans, the people that are wanting like a deep cut or just another arcade or a new title, arcade, something from the arcade, from our childhood, originally, born in the arcade, not some thing that you're trying to make a thing. This this not quite Casinocade, not that. And you know, for this analogy to kind of make some sense, there has to be a you and a me. And what if it's all you and there's no me? Who's representing us at Arcade1up? Some would say it was like people like John D, who have a passion for the arcade. And I get that. But what if John D doesn't like the thing you like? What if John D doesn't like more? What if you like, I don't know, a weird, what if you like Mortal Kombat? What if you like Mortal Kombat? John D doesn't like Mortal Kombat. So he's not representing you in Arcade1up. So there's no me here. What if this is just cash grab, easy money, and this is all we can expect? What if it's all gloom and doom? What if there is no, hey, listen, they're going to make a bunch of these. And I've said this, I think other people in this space have said this. What if they make a bunch of these? They make a bunch of money. And then they'll take that money and they'll make something we want. Robotron, Cubert, everybody will get everything they want, right? Because they made a bunch of money from this Casinocade. But you're assuming that somebody at 1UP wants the same things you want. Let me float this crazy possibility. What if they sell a bunch of these and they just make more of these? What if they make a bunch of money off of this stuff I don't like and they just continue to make stuff I don't like? It's a real possibility. It's an actual concern. It's kind of a big concern. I mean, I think that we want to be optimistic and say, well, they'll sell just a ton of these Casinocades and then they'll make something that I want. But I don't see you and I. We want to make something. If we were the director they hired to come in and say, okay, listen, make a Casinocade, but then make whatever you want. If it makes $1 bazillion, you can make whatever you want. But I don't think that's the case. I think that we're running a serious risk of just having more of this stuff come out. More of the Fast and Furious, which is a fine cabinet if you're not really big on, I don't know, the arcade original ROM. You know, if you're more concerned with a generic good time, that's what you're getting with this stuff. And I'm afraid that this is what this is going to inspire if it sells a ton of these. If we sell a bunch of this, are we going to continue to get more of this? I don't think it's a stretch. So I think it's a valid concern. I think that if you want the thing, you should get the thing. I did a short this week. It was sarcasm. I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Buy what you want to buy. It is what it is. We're going to give each other crap about stuff. You know, you don't like what I like. Well, I'm going to give you crap about what you don't like. It's a back and forth. It's fine. I really don't care, guys. Buy what you want to buy. But consider the fact that what you support, remember, you vote with your dollars. So whatever you support, they're going to keep making. So if we buy a bunch of stuff that's not arcade accurate, you know, or if it's just a complete departure, it better be something you really like, especially at $600. Because if you just buy it, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to make something you want. Don't buy it because, well, I don't like it, but if I buy this, maybe they'll make something I want. No, buy what you really want. It seems like a weird thing to have to say to somebody, but yeah, do that thing, because I don't want more of the stuff I don't like. Now, a lot of you have said, listen, Fox, chill out. Grandma likes it. My wife loves the idea. Can't wait to have it. So I did the crazy thing. You know, I married a woman. I know, shocking, right? Someone actually puts up with all this. But I asked her, I said, you know, what do you think about this? Now, this is a woman who, we don't gamble a ton, but she likes to go to the boats. She likes to go to the casino. She goes with her sister, and she goes with, you know, before grandma passed, she went with grandma. And she's the type of person that would take some money and she would go. And when she blew through that money, that was it. That was the end of the day, right? It wasn't just going and crazy, because we work hard for our money. We don't want to just completely blow it all. So she has some, she has a little bit of nostalgia for arcade, for the casino. She likes she's not put off by the experience. She goes there. So she looked at I showed her the Arcade1up website. Here's the Casinocade. Check it out. And she looked at it and she was like, you know, well, I see, you know, if it's got flashy lights. I said, yeah, it's got flashy lights. She said, does it have a pull handle? She didn't ask about the screen size. She didn't ask about the marquee. She liked the flashy lights, but her first question was, does it have a pull handle? I said no. She's like, it's just weird. Because you can't win money. It's kind of a small iPad-ish touchscreen. There's no pull handle. What are you replicating? What experience are you replicating with this device? If there's no pull handle, you're not getting that thrill, I guess, of pulling the handle it's for a slot machine. You're not getting that. You're not winning any money. I mean, there's a leaderboard online, but you're not winning any money. So there's no possible way to win money. Once again, I talk about an iPad, but think about your iPad. If you've got an iPad or a tablet, it's very comfortable held in the hand, sitting at your couch. But if you have to now stand up and affix it to a wall to use it, it becomes a little less intuitive. It is a touchscreen, and that's cool. And there's some buttons here, and that's cool. But I really think that you're losing some of the reasons why you have a touchscreen altogether. And if you've been to a casino, usually there are some things that are involved here. They're called chairs. People sit down and play these things. You've seen them nonstop, right? Whether they're pulling handles or hitting buttons, they're sitting down. This could have really been better served if it was shorter and came with a stool, or maybe even a chair, maybe like one of these short stools I have over here, or maybe if it actually included a stool. I mean, this is like the one time I really think you needed to include a stool, especially when you're talking about $599, $600. This is, talk about a missed opportunity. This is the one thing I dare to say it necessitated a stool, not in an effort to justify the price, but kind of to really sell the experience. I mean, you really needed a stool and you needed an ashtray is what you needed. An ashtray and a stool and an arm, and you could have just, and whatever, I think you really could have just done with like a 17-inch screen, and you have the ashtray and you have the stool and you got the handle, and you're good. That would have been, you would have replicated the entire experience for the most part, minus all of the money. But if you've been to a casino, not everybody wins money. Most of the time they don't win money. So not winning is actually part of the experience. And not winning is also kind of where I think that we're going to end up with this Casinocade. Moving on to the last topic, the most intensive topic, maybe, possibly, perhaps, tonight. I think there's a lot to discuss here. There's a lot to unpack, to use a overused term for sure. Yes, that is a fly. And it's embarrassing, but we'll kill it at some other time. I'll post the image of the dead body in all my social media, because it needs to die. But you know what doesn't need to die? You know what needs to live on forever? It's super chats. Like this one. $10 super chat from Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat, brother. Always supporting the channel. I really do appreciate you. What's up, brother? I am in a... Oh, wow. It's not your wedding. We've talked about this. You said you were happy. I'm in a wedding right now, watching your show. Cheers. Don't just leave the volume down. It's fine. Or maybe put your earbuds in. Hopefully everybody says I do and everybody's happy, because that's the way that it should be. Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. Really do appreciate it. And you know what? Here you go.
Can't you do any better?
Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. Always awesome to see you in the chat. Super chatting is always good for your soul. And it's good for me because, I need the money. It's sad. I know. It's really sad. It's really sad. I know I'm e-begging, but it is what it is. What can you do? What can you say? So some other stuff happened, not just Nicole being incredibly overcome with shock and awe and excitement. There's other things that actually happened. I'm sorry, Nicole. We love you. We love you. It's great. It's really good. But something else happened at Evo, and it was a reveal. And we had thought long and hard about this. That's what she said. About what they could reveal. We thought something was going to happen, and then we heard that Arcade1up was going to be there, and then we saw B kept buying tickets, and we're like, that guy knows something. There's going to be something going on. It's not just, they're going to have like a poster and t-shirts. They're going to reveal something. And so I really was I've been on the show. I talked about it. I said, you know what? I bet it's going to be an Alpha Cab. I've talked about this several times. I've got the PlayStation 2 disc of the Alpha games. There's 4 Alpha games, Alpha 1, 2, 2 Gold, and 3. And then The one that they added to that compilation was actually it wasn't Puzzle Fighter. It was Fighter's Mini Mix. Is where you have the Puzzle Fighter, the short little cute versions of Street Fighter characters fighting each other. I thought that was kind of cool. They were they were fighting for gems. It was around. Remember, this is all around the time where you had the Versus series with X-Men. They were making the X-Men games and Marvel superheroes games and all that. So you had the gems. It was kind of a thing. So that was kind of cool. That was very cool. That would have been a really cool cabinet to have. 5 games, pretty cool, unique. Arcade1up hasn't done it before. They could easily run that. Alpha cab would be the theme, and that would have been really cool. And that if that was a deluxe, that would have been awesome. But it probably would have had a riser. Let's be honest. You know, when these things come out the gate, they usually tend to be on a riser. But then eventually, they have their deluxe debut or the deluxe debut, the debut in deluxe, possibly. Give me just 1 second as I send out this massage right here. Do that, and there we go. So we're going to talk about what was revealed. We're going to talk about the evolution of that particular product because unfortunately, we didn't get the Alpha Cab. I thought the Street Fighter 3 was a stretch. I didn't think that was going to happen, but it would have been nice. I'm really looking for the CPS 3, cabinet to kind of come out. I mean, they didn't have that many CPS 3 games. I thought it would be a great way to kind of just, put a collection together. It's a small bunch of games, and it would justify a cabinet, I think. But, it is what it is. What we got was a Street Fighter 2 Deluxe. Okay, let's look at what that evolution has been. Now, I talked about if they did a Street Fighter Deluxe, a Street Fighter 2, I wanted to see a return of that goofy, crazy 90s pink and yellow and all that, We didn't get that. But I'm not really mad at it. So let's talk about the cabinets that came before it. Let's talk about that first cab. This was a cab that I think a lot of us had back in the day. The original cab. This was the first cab that I bought. This is the first used cab that I bought, and then I did a ton of mods on this. Just a ton of mods. I eventually got rid of it piece by piece. You whittle it down to almost nothing, and there's not that much left original, so I eventually just got rid of it. And it was a great cab. The one on the far left there, the Street Fighter 2. It was fun. Championship Edition. We got these legacy cabs that came out, 12 games, and not the best design, in my opinion. They really had some weird missteps here. I don't know why some of these decisions were made, but they were made, and that's fine. But it is what it is, as far as the physical design of the cabinets. I hated the wings. I hated the recessed control panel. But what I loved was that crazy, stupid, weird yellow and hot pink and purple art. I like that because that was my original cabinet I had back in the day. My original Street Fighter cabinet was an HS1, Dynamo HS1, and it had this control scheme, the color scheme. I loved it. And it had this is the art style, the artwork that I really liked. I was partial to this because it was very period correct. It was very much of its time, of its era. Like, it looked like a freaking Trapper Keeper. Okay. If you're of a certain age, you know what a Trapper Keeper is. You know what I'm talking about. Velcro, you put your folders in it. Anyway, moving on. So that was that. Then we got an artistic departure. Now, this was Michael B's favorite cab. Michael B loved these cabs. He loved the Shinku Hadouken. He loved the Yoga Flame. Absolutely adored the side art. Was what he really, really loved. Michael B being a pillar of the community, I think that's why the sales were so good, because he loved this cabinet so very much. But some people, some weirdos, were put off by the fact that these side panels weren't arcade accurate or didn't really harken back to an original cabinet in any way, shape, or form. They were very much a departure, and they were very much, I think the art was actually pretty cool, but it wasn't arcade accurate. And it was a midway style, but because the midway style, for the most part, is an extremely comfortable cabinet, in my personal opinion. Love the control deck, a little bit extra space. And I think it, for the most part, was a really good design. So I think a lot of us let it go. The Shinku Hadouken version of those two cabs was a really beautiful cabinet. And then we have what was revealed this week at Evo. We have a Deluxe Street Fighter 2. And in very much the Dynamo, they're calling it an HS5. I think if you look at some of the side panels, it's neither here nor there. HS1 and HS5, the biggest difference was the monitor size. HS1 was a 19-inch. HS5 was going to be the 25-inch. HS5 also had, sometimes you had, like on my HS5 over here, you had a pedestal underneath, so the side panels didn't go all the way to the floor, which was great for T-molding. If you watch my Raiden cabinet build, check that out. You see when I'm doing the T-molding, I don't take my T-molding all the way to the floor. It goes around the cabinet, and there's a small, like a little 4-inch, almost like a riser, but it's internal. It's not on the outside of the cabinet. It's on the inside. And that's how the cabinet got a little bit of extra height. It got the proper amount of height. And that's where the wheels were mounted to. I'm sorry, the legs are mounted to that. I have wheels on mine, casters on mine. But that's what we got. And, as far as an evolution, it's kind of cool to see a return back to that original art style, that original Street Fighter II Championship Edition, for a couple different reasons. So either good, either bad, whatever you think about it, I think it's good to see a return to arcade accuracy, as mimicking what we saw in the arcades. I think it's also it's just very good to see also a design that is inspired by an actual cabinet. And there's a lot here to dig into. It's not just the fact that, hey, it looks a little different. There's a reason. There's actually a method to this madness. Let's take a look at the actual cabinet itself. Once again, thanks to the B-Kongs for sending some pictures my way. We've got some extra detail. We're gonna really look at some of the detail behind this new piece that Arcade1up has fabricated for this. Okay. We're gonna get into the minutia because I think it's important. HS1 didn't have the angled control panel part 1 though. Part 1 though. This is my stream, and I am correct. And either way, I think it's neither here nor there. Looking at the side panel though, I can't deny, and looking at my HS5, I can't deny the side panel has some very, very similar angles when you're talking about the marquee support and as it comes down. But I don't remember the HS1 being flat. We're going to discuss this in excruciating detail on another show. But for right now, we're going to continue on. And once again, I am always right within the framework of this made-up reality in which I live. Here's the actual cabinet. I got to tell you, it looks good. I gotta tell you now, being not a simp, but a fan. I'm a fanboy of the Dynamo cabinets for reasons we're gonna get into in just a minute. But if you look at the difference side to side with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, and I think that B also he can back me up on this one. I believe in his review, in his first impressions video, and it does look a little bit taller. He said it is a little bit taller, maybe an inch or two taller, maybe as little as 1 inch taller than the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. But the one-piece design, we've seen this before with the deluxe version. It's awesome. I mean, it looks good. It does look it's a little skinny, but that's just sort of the form factor. It's fine. If I'm going to have this or a riser, the benefits of the riser are great as far as moving things around, as far as getting the cabs in place and all that, but it does break up the sides and the front of the cabinet a lot. I think if I'm going to be stuck with a 17-inch model, I'm going to go with the deluxe. I really am. So, anyway, that's where I fall on this. Now, you're looking at this, and I don't know what you're thinking. I hope you're thinking, wow, this is an improvement. Maybe you don't think it's an improvement. The things that I like are the reasons why Dynamo cabs, these generic cabs, were made. And this is in a time where you got to remember, initially, I think a lot of these cabs were made by the people that developed the games themselves. And so they would have very specific cabinets for their games. But eventually, companies got wise and they're like, listen, we're just going to make the marquee and we're going to make the game. And maybe some specific controls, but let's get somebody else to make the cabinets. Let's get random companies go out there. You just make the cabinets, and we'll just put the guts in it. And that's what the Dynamo series was really all about. They weren't specific to just one arcade game publisher. It wasn't just Capcom. It was a whole slew of games, different games, radically different. I mean, any game you could really think of could fit in one of these Dynamo cabinets. And so this is cool. I like the way this looks. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm assuming that I'm going to go back to the poll at the end of the show, and you're going to let me know exactly what your excitement is for this. Totally. But let's talk about some of the features. Let me skip that one. We'll go to this one. So let's talk about the fact that the marquee is reverse printed. It looks really good. It's going to be something I have to see in person. You're going to have to see it in person. It's tough to nail this because it's a gray marquee. The black is hit or miss, right? You either hit it out of the park or you fail miserably. So the black, you know right away if the black is good or bad. Now we've seen some success with Mortal Kombat with I think the class of 81 specifically. That marquee, the blacks on that are really black, very dark. So that's going to be that's a good thing. That's encouraging for me because this definitely has obviously the black graphite, the granite kind of look, the Capcom granite, but also the black in the middle of that logo. It's got to be dark. And I think it looks pretty good. So we'll see. Time will tell. I do like the fact they've included the speaker grills as every other deluxe cabinet has. If you watch my video about being able to kind of get a pro feature on any cabinet, you can easily buy replacement grills. And because this is already in place, there's no drilling involved. You just take a screwdriver and swap these out. I really think, going back to that video, I had two examples that you could buy. Just open up the package and screw them onto this cabinet. You could get a chrome one, which I don't know if that would fit, but the other one was not chrome. It was just gray. And I'm thinking the gray speaker grill, and I'm talking about the trim ring around the speaker grill. That gray would look sick on this cabinet. That would look really good because right now it's just monochromatic, and if you like that look, that's great. But the cabinet itself is fairly black and gray. It's very much a Batman cabinet. Kind of the reason why I used Batman in the image for the thumbnail of this. But it's very much black and gray. If you added that gray trim ring or even chrome, it could break it up just a little bit and make it feel a little bit better. Like I said, you don't lose the speakers and all that. I think that would look really, really good. So I'm excited to see they continue that. That's good. But let's talk about one of the big development, and it's not just a stylistic choice. Some of these things they'll mimic a feature with wood, MDF, and that's fine. But they did something a little bit different here, and it's something you need to take a minute and just acknowledge. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with this super chat from Daryl. Thank you so much for your Canadian $2.79. A little bit special, that Canadian dinero. I'm so sorry to hear about your Prime Minister's divorce. Best of luck to him and all of that. Thanks again for the MK30th cab monitor swap. Absolutely. I enjoyed taking the Real Smile bit was the one that came up with the 19-inch monitor swap. He gave us all the information we needed to do that swap in our XL monitors, our XL cabs. I took the same advice that he gave me, and I went on the hunt and found a 17-inch monitor that worked really well. I'm glad it worked out for you. I'm really, really happy. If any of us in this space doing our mods, if we can help anybody in any small way, make their cabs a little bit better, make their gaming experience a little bit better, I'm incredibly humbled by it. Thank you so much for your super chat. Really do appreciate it. And you know what? Here you go. Thanks again for your super chat. I really do appreciate the super chats. They mean a lot. And I know some may think that I'm e-begging, but maybe here's somebody that has something a little bit different to say about that. No e-begging here. We get entertainment. Thanks. The fact that I'm entertaining, listen, that's the worst thing for my wife to hear. The last thing she wants is somebody to encourage this type of behavior, but you're doing it. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, Kevin. Really do appreciate you, buddy. And what can I give you a little bit? Let me scroll. You know what? Here's one of the new ones just for you. It's kind of like being sent to the pit, only like the Capcom version of that. Anyway, moving on to other things, important things, big new developments. And we're talking about the chin. We're talking about the extension of the control panel. Damn it, boy. This is something that I think that if you like these design, if you've been in arcades and if you've played these cabinets, and a lot of cabinet styles will stick out to you. You get your midway designs, you got the big 4-player cabinets of the Konami cabs, and you have like Big Blue and some of those that stand out. But then you have some of those cabinets that they put everything in. The Dynamo cabinets, that series is definitely a series of cabinets where they put everything in them. They put every game in them. So there is beyond just the joystick and buttons. This is a different feel that they're going for, that they're trying to mimic. And I'm glad, I'm applauding the effort. If the execution falls flat, it is what it is. But from what I'm seeing so far, there's a lot to like here. Nothing is perfect, and we're going to talk about that. So here you go. You have, I'm going to go ahead. This is the Knight Rider nose. Okay, this is the Knight Rider front end of this cabinet. It's an extension of the control panel that harkens back to an original Dynamo HS5. We'll go with it. I don't know. We'll discuss. I'll have to do a little more research. HS1, maybe. I don't know. But the HS5 design here, the control panels, once again, if you want to get more into the details of the HS5, the Dynamo cab, watch my video, my Raiden video where I made a Raiden cabinet. It's all based on a Dynamo HS5. I took out the guts of the game that was in it and I put mine in it. But the main thing, one of the big features of this cabinet was that you had the ability to reach in through the coin door and unlock the control panel, which you can do on a lot of different cabinets, but this whole thing will swing down and you can pull out a board, and that's where the game board was supported. The PCB was there, the main JAMA harness and all that was there. A lot of your main connections were there. All your controls obviously were also there. So that's what they're mimicking with this, and I really, really like this. Now let's talk about the negatives. I don't want to gloss over anything. The fact that the color of the Capcom granite is not quite the same. There's some stuff going on here. Now, there's a reason for that. I think what you've got is what I thought at first was a vinyl graphic for the control panel. Turns out it's not. It's actual paint. Now, Cyrus is talking about this is paint. This is paint that won't rub off. This is an applique. I don't know if they've just if they went back to the original process of painting their control panels. I don't think that's a good thing overall, because I don't care what you do. The paint is probably very durable, but the paint can get scratched. The paint can get smudged. Over time, the paint could wear eventually. Let's just say that, like any paint, it will. How do you replace that? How do you fix that? Now, if it had a deck protector, which this cabinet does not have a deck protector. That's something I need to point out. I don't know if everybody is aware of that. They've made it known in their videos that they're not hiding the ball here, but there's no deck protector here. And for me, I don't know why, other than it's a cost-saving measure. If they're trying to keep this cabinet under $500, or I'm sorry, at $500, if they're trying to keep it at a certain price point, they can probably save a good chunk of change per cabinet if they eliminated the control panel protector, the overlay, that piece of plexiglass. If they eliminated that from every single cabinet, if you think about producing this stuff in quantity, in mass, they can save some real cash. They can save some real money on that. So, and maybe that would offset the cost of the Knight Rider nose on the front of the cabinet. I can't fault them for that. Is this paint going to withstand, solid hardcore play, sweaty palms, many combos over many years? Maybe it will, and I hope that it will. But if it had a deck protector, it wouldn't be an issue. If the deck protector gets scratched up, you get another deck protector. This is the most used control deck by Arcade1up, period. The 6-button layout has been used by many cabinets. And as long as the spacing isn't radically different, which I can't assume that it is, I can't imagine that you can't just take another deck protector and put it directly over this, and it'd be good to go. A control panel overlay from any other cabinet that they've made, you can buy aftermarket control panel overlays, and they may fit directly on this. And I would say that if you buy this cabinet, which I'll reveal in a minute if I'm going to get one or not, if you buy this cabinet, I hope that you have one of these 6-button layout cabinets at home with an overlay. Because I would be really interested to see if you could just take that overlay off any number of cabinets that are out there and put it on this and see if it fits. I think that it will. I would imagine that it would be. I can't imagine them tooling up a completely different control scheme or control panel layout, because if you tool up for that, it's manufacturing, it costs money. So I think this is probably exactly the same size as the control panel for, maybe Marvel versus Capcom 2, because that's the most recent iteration of this. It could be the same one that they've used from the original Legacy, or the second Legacy cabinet. I'm sorry, the second Legacy cabinet, because it looks like we had that slant. Hopefully that's roughly the same angle that the midway cabs have, because I think it's a good angle. I think it's comfortable. So maybe that overlay will fit and it becomes a non-issue. Whether you buy one aftermarket, whether you use one from another cabinet, maybe this replaces another cabinet you have, slap it on there and you're good. But I can't help but think that maybe they would have been better served to put just a vinyl overlay on this. If you're going to go, do you go with paint or do you go with vinyl? Just a big vinyl sticker. And if the thing is messed up for any reason, you can just peel it off. It's got to be vinyl though. Some of their side panel art, I think probably all the side panel art, it's rarely all vinyl. It's usually like this paper backed sticker that just, when you try to peel it off, it just comes apart and it sucks. It's not good at all. But if it was pure vinyl, printed on all vinyl, it's possible to get a heat gun or a hairdryer and heat this up and peel it off completely with minimal residue and then apply a different sticker. If they would have done that instead of paint here, that would have made a lot more sense to me. It would have made a lot more sense. And if it was to wear out, you could replace it. It's possible. But because it's paint, I don't think that that's going to be an option. I think you're going to have to apply a decal over a painted surface, which doesn't always work. It doesn't always adhere in the best way. It doesn't. So that's an odd choice for me. I know they're trying to offset some of the costs of that, the Knight Rider nose on the front, the Dynamo extension. I get that. I can't imagine that's got to be the only reason why they did it. Hopefully the paint will hold up and it won't be an issue. But I think for me personally, if I was going to buy this cabinet, plan on getting a deck protector just to preserve that artwork. So you don't, it's just insurance. It's simple. It's quick. It's easy. You throw it on there. As long as all the holes line up, which I assume that they will. The only thing that could be weird is a live button placement off to the right. Is it exactly in the same spot it was on the Shinku Hadouken? I don't know. But it would be interesting to see if you could just take one and put it on there and call it good. I would really want to preserve that art as good as possible. So you see the artwork, you see the color of the Capcom granite, and you're probably making the face that Nicole's making. You're like, that looks a little weird. Looks a little weird. Well, it's because it is a little weird. It's a little bit off. The plastic on there, on the Knight Rider nose, is a little bit off. It's not quite the same color. You don't have a crisp white, clean white color. You've got a yellow kind of color. I think B made the comment when he had Cyrus on the live stream. That's like an NES color. Like when the console has aged and it's yellow, doesn't look that great. And it doesn't. Is it the end of the world? Well, it's a little weird to see it in the beginning. To happen over time is one thing, but to have it in the very beginning, to be off a little bit, standing back. Let me take a look at it. If you're kind of off if you're standing back a little, it's hard to tell. It's difficult to see the color difference, but when you look up close, it's hard to deny. You can't say that that's not there. Now, I think if you would have gone back with a vinyl, what you could have done is they could have assembled the cab. Or maybe if we bought the cab, we could buy a one-piece vinyl. Imagine, it would really be easy. All it is just you take the control panel overlay and you add another 6, 8, 10 inches, whatever it needs, right, to the bottom of it. So all the controls are in place, all the buttons, the labels, everything's in place. And then you extend that, just the Capcom graphite color down, and then you would just wrap that around the Knight Rider nose and you're good. And it's all one continuous piece. And then they could have fully assembled the control panel section, one solid piece of vinyl, and then you make one cut and you're good. It's the same piece of vinyl. It's the same color. It all matches. It all coordinates. It looks good. I think that's what they probably should have done. I think that's what probably is going to happen if this really bothers you. And I don't think if it bothers you, I don't think you're asking too much. I think if this bothers you, I don't think you're crazy. It might bother me as well. But you know one thing that's not going to bother me? It's a $2 super chat from Stringer Films. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Just sent you an extremely relevant picture on Facebook. How did you send me this extremely relevant picture? As I deal with this backstage, I'm going to blow you up, buddy. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. I really appreciate it as always. And Wolverine says hi.
Perfect! Hyper combo KO! Game's over. Time to call it quits.
And he has sent me a picture that is extremely relevant. Let me see what I got here real quick. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. I'm not going to share the picture. I'm not going to do it. But I get what you're saying. Okay. So the HS1 for everybody. I had some objections with the HS5 designation because of the lack of the pedestal. But what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing from Stringer Films, B Kong, is that the difference is really going to be in the control panel and the depth of that control panel and some of the angle of that control panel. I'm not going to say I'm wrong. I'm just going to move on. Because that's what a mature man does. He just pretends like nothing happened and he keeps moving forward. And then he also reads his next super chat for $1.99. Thank you so much for your $1.99 super chat. Apolitical. Very nice name. I like it. I do appreciate your $1.99 super chat, buddy. X-Men Deluxe is coming based on BB's. Really? BB sales. Yay, nay. X-Men Deluxe. Here's what I'm thinking. I know what you're thinking. You've assumed because X-Men is going on sale for $500, and it's the only cabinet, the only 4-player cabinet, the only second generation 4-player cabinet to go on sale for $500, that it's the next one coming out. It's going to be the new Deluxe. I don't know for sure, but I can't fault your logic. That's all I can really say about that. Thank you so much for $2 super chat, buddy. Really appreciate it. And you might get a sweater, some kind of a jacket. It's going to be a little bit chilly.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I think there's a problem with some of these second generation 4-player cabs. I don't believe that they're selling as well as they should. Some of that's going to be design issues, though. I'm going to be honest with you. The wings, I don't know who came up with the wings, but the legacy cabinets with those wings, with the recessed marquees and those stupid wings that stuck out, I don't know what they were thinking. They should have done what they've done here with this Dynamo cabinet, is tried to mimic something that existed in the past. If you look at the cabinet on the right-hand side, you've got the Midway style. They didn't come up with these designs just out of thin air. They mimicked what was already out there. And when they did the stuff with the second generation 4-players and with those legacies, it just messed. I don't know why they decided to do that. It just doesn't seem like it's a finished product, in my personal opinion. And my personal opinion really matters a lot to, just me. I'm the only one that really matters to. But anyway, thank you so much for super chat, buddy. Really do appreciate it. And as always, there's never one with this guy. There's usually a couple. Another super chat from Stringer Films. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. I appreciate it as always. But what's on the control panel in the picture? Okay. Darn it. Let me go back. You're requiring extra work out of me. I don't like to do extra work, but I'll consider it. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You talking about the you beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on, everybody. I apologize. This requires a little bit something special. All right. Okay. Once again, I'm not a smart man, but I do know what love is. And I do need a little encouragement sometimes. A little focus is always required to really understand the depths of what's going on with some of these pictures. But thank you so much for super chat, buddy. Let me give you another little something. You know what? Here you go. Give me just 1 second. Can I even... I'm trying to do this in a way I don't share all my secrets. I got so much secret stuff going on in here that what I'm going to have to do is go over to Canva, which is my online software that I use for all my good stuff. And definitely need to check them out, guys. Canva, they're not sponsoring the channel, but listen, if they did sponsor the channel, I would not be upset whatsoever. So what I'm doing right now is I'm opening up one of my tabs here. And I've got, here we go. I've got a picture. This is how I make my slides. This is from Stringer Films. Let me go ahead and do, I'll do the full picture off of one side. That's what I'll do. And then I'll take this picture and we'll zoom in so that everybody can see what, I don't know if you put this together. Did you do this, Stringer Films? Let me know in the chat. Don't super chat. I don't need another super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat, but I don't need that. I'm just curious if you did this just now, if this is your personal picture, or if you happen to find this on the intranets. Let me just download that. We'll convert that to this appropriate file. We'll download that. We'll give it some time. We'll come back to it. But yeah, Stringer Films has a good picture that, is it poetic justice? Is it fate, perhaps, that made me say the things that I said? I think it might be. I think it might actually be. But let me go ahead and just share this right now. Here we go. Boom. No. Click on that. Click the button and then do the thing. And I haven't even had that much to drink yet. Let's go ahead and let this process. The things that I have to do for my fans. But you know what? Damn it. You're worth it. Check it out. Yes. Yes. For those of you who are not extremely old, such as I, that is a Trapper Keeper on a Dynamo HS1 freaking cabinet. I mean, I don't, it's just like, and we didn't plan this. I promise you, we did not plan this, but sometimes, you know, in the words of Ian Malcolm, life finds a way. Thank you so much for that. That's pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So we talked about this, the Knight Rider nose, okay, on the front of this cabinet, and how it's got a lot of advantages. Some disadvantages. We talked about the negatives. Talk about the advantages. Talk about the pluses, okay? No more with the minuses. Talk about the pluses. If you're a player one, you're going to absolutely freaking love this edition. Think about what you've just gained. There's a good 2 inches of depth there where that right hand for the player one is going to be in heaven. Absolute heaven. So freaking awesome. You're going to have so much more palm resting area. It's just crazy. For those of you out there like me that have big hands, this is going to be great. Even player two, you're not going to have as much real estate, but it's going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be just a dream to play this cabinet. I'm so loving this edition because I hope that this would be the way that they would go. When we talked about in the early days, the different kind of cabinets I wish that they would mimic, the Dynamo was kind of a favorite of mine. I'm so happy they went with it. And it wasn't just my favorite. I think John D talked about it too. He said how he loved this cabinet too. And I'm glad they did it. I was concerned we were gonna lose some space on the control panel so they could mimic this look, but they didn't do it. They actually added it. They made up this whole new piece to bolt onto the front of the cabinet. Yes, it's the Knight Rider nose of the of Arcade1up's Pontiac Trans Am. But let's get into a little more detail. This is something you haven't seen on any other stream, any other video. These people have been shortchanging you. Damn them. Just kidding. Some of them are my friends. Let's talk about some of the close-up pictures. B sent me these pictures as he was assembling the cabinet. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to break down. You've got this piece that juts out. Now, what's it made of? Is it wood? Well, no, it's not made of wood. It's actually a plastic piece. Look at some of the reinforcements. So it's using, right off the bat, you do have a wooden base. You have a wooden rectangle that is actually, that's the base, the foundation of this thing. And then you have this big plastic molded piece that screws to it. Is it hollow in the inside? No, it's not. But it's definitely something that it's got some substantial reinforcement. Nostalgia on B's stream last night, talking to Cyrus, asked a very good question. This front panel, this front piece, this Knight Rider nose being made of plastic, is this something going to be, push. You can push it. It's like Tupperware. Is it going to be able to? Are you going to push this thing in? It's going to pop back out. I mean, is it going to be durable? Are kids going to hang on this and it's going to fall off? I mean, what is this thing? Well, it's a combination of things we've seen in the past. But if you look at this, look at all those big pieces, these reinforcements that extend from the very end of the nose all the way to the wooden panel itself. And then you have screws that go all the way through the wood and into the plastic. So this is a substantial piece. I give Arcade1up a lot of crap. I've given them a hard time when they slack off, when they just rehash, when it's just the same old, same old. This particular piece, not the whole cabinet, but this particular piece has taken some significant engineering. Some effort has actually gone into this, especially when you consider this is purely aesthetic. This is just a piece that goes on the front of the cabinet to mimic a look of an existing cabinet. That's it. It's just for appearance sake. Here's some more angles here. Let's check this out. You've got some, just like the top angle, the other angle, the reverse angle of that. And you've got this plastic piece that's molded, it's reinforced, it's got the extrusions on the inside. All those screws, I mean, there's a lot of damn screws that are holding this plastic piece on. So when Cyrus was talking about the stress testing and all that, this definitely looks like it's a substantial piece. Probably fairly expensive to have to replace if you do break it. So I understand why maybe we didn't get the deck protector. They were trying to offset the cost of some of the, somebody had to draw this up in CAD. Somebody had to print out several prototypes. They probably had to break a couple of them and then print out more, add a little bit of reinforcement here and there. But I know, like I said, I know this is just an aesthetic piece. It doesn't add anything special to the cabinet other than the look and then the extra real estate for your hand to rest on. But I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks good. I mean, it's impressive. It's not just a piece that they just stuck on the front and, they labeled it Dynamo. That looks great, right? I'm digging it. Now, this reminded me of something, though. As you're looking at the sides, if you look at the sides of this panel, it reminded me of something else, something we've seen before in the past. Go ahead and show this now. Boom. So if you remember, and this is one of the, this is a clip from my video where I actually chopped up the lid marquee from a Killer Instinct cabinet. If you look at the way it's assembled on the side, the picture on the far left, and you have an image in the middle and an image on the far right. This is the same sort of way that is constructed for the marquee. You have a piece of wood in there, and it supports the LED strip, but then you have the plastic housing that kind of clips onto the front. That's kind of what we're seeing here with this. This is a piece of MDF, and then this big plastic piece sort of clips onto the side. Now, in the middle picture, you see, and even on the far right-hand picture, you see some of that black plastic that's on top of the actual piece itself. That's to mimic the corners of the HS. We'll go back to this one. Well, this is not the same thing. This is definitely a different kind of control panel, but it mimics the black corners of the HS5s, that control panel itself. And some of the HS1s had the same kind of control panel as well. But it's a similar design. So this will capture a piece of MDF in the middle, and then a bunch of screws and that actually go into all the posts is going to secure this thing. So this is pretty substantial. I mean, it really is. It's actually, there's a lot going on there. And if you look at that middle picture, you can see how beefed up the post is. If you've got any experience with any kind of plastic pieces, if you ever done any extrusion, what they've done is they've gusseted a single tube, a piece of plastic tube that is meant to just have it. It provides it's the orifice, for lack of a better term, that the screws into. And then what they've done is on all four sides of that tube, they've gusseted that. That's what those wings, those fins are on the outside. There's a lot going on there. And it looks, I think it looks pretty substantial. Now, the color is definitely an issue. It's not, I don't like the way that looks. They could have done a better job of that. They could have maybe just used, if they would have gone with a vinyl print, and this is where I go back and forth on this. I mean, okay, the paint is fine. I understand you wanted to eliminate the deck protector, but, maybe you should have gone with a vinyl, image that you could have just printed, from the same batch, right? You have a strip printed Capcom graphic. I'm sorry, the Capcom granite, same color, same background that you're using on your control panel, the same image, so it would have matched perfectly. And then you just take that and you wrap that around this piece. Would that have been more labor intensive? I don't know. I'm not sure what the process is to color that plastic Knight Rider nose, but I think that would have been a better way to go, and you could have perfectly matched both of them. And it would have been in perfect harmony. It would have been in sync. It would have been total unison. It would have been a compliment to what was already a good thing. Just like a $1.99 super chat is a compliment to this show. Thank you so much, Twisted, the Twisted one. Twisted Chris, thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. 9 Street Fighter rehash cabs later, and now we're here. It's true. It's true. It took them a while to get here, didn't it? And that's what I'm saying. Are we even here yet? That's going to be something we're going to talk about a little bit later. Thank you so much, buddy, for your $2 super chat, brother. Always good to see you in the chat. I got to give you something a little bit special. You know what you're getting. Here you go. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. And, you know, to continue on with the tradition of no less than 3 super chats per live stream, is Stringer Films. Once again, $2 sent you proof of authenticity. Thank you so much for your super chat. I'll look at the picture for sure. Got to give you something a little bit special. Got to give you something a little bit different. You know what I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you the game that Arcade1up won't give MK fans.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
That was brutal. And fatality was horrible. It was horrific. But you know what's not horrible? You know what's not horrific? Another super chat. They're actually unhorrific, if that's even a term. $5 this time. This super chat comes to us from Head Shake TV. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Really do appreciate it. Hey, Fox, I'm at the spot with 80s cars and pinball. Going live in a few minutes. There's even a 1987 Magnum PI Ferrari here. What? That I was able to check out. You currently have in the area you're in a 1987 Magnum PI Ferrari and some pinballs. Head on over to Headshake TV after this live stream and check out what he's got going on. It sounds pretty sick. It sounds pretty epic. It sounds like you and me need to get together and go kill the queen. So we've got some interesting things going on with some of this similar construction with that, and I dig that. I think that's good. But at the end of the day, I mean, what are we really talking about? All this talk about the design and the improvements, harkening back to a pretty solid staple, an arcade staple in the Dynamo cab. We've talked about different games all over for years now. Different cabs, different games, and usually you can find almost any game, especially fighting games, in a Dynamo cabinet. But, you know, they're not limited to just fighting games, shooting games, and all that. So that's a great design. But at the end of the day, what are we talking about? What's the games and what is the price, which is probably the biggest question of all? Well, you're going to be happy. I think you're going to be happy to know that this is $499. $500 is where they were able to keep it. You know, you have the Knight Rider nose. You have the lack of a control panel overlay. A deck protector is not there. So, you know, that could be a deal breaker for some. And I know where you're going at. I know where your head's at. That's fine. And the same 14 games that we got with the Shinku Hadouken with the 2nd generation legacy cabinets continues on with this. Now, I guess this would be the 3rd generation legacy / 1st generation deluxe. That's going to be a different. I'm going to have to update my slide of all these different models. But this is technically 3rd generation legacy, but also the 1st generation deluxe. If that makes any sense whatsoever, here you go. But $500, and you're getting the same 14 games. I think you're getting a better design, in my personal opinion. But the big thing we have to talk about, while the design is much improved, look at the side of the cab. I mean, this is a modder's dream. It just, It is. It is a modder's dream. If you want to do a cabinet, let's say Arcade1up doesn't have what you want. They're not making the game you want them to make. We've all been there. All of us. We've been there. We've got our game, whatever your game is. And you're thinking, damn it, they just won't make it. But it would be cool if they could give me the cab and the controls and the screen, and I could just make my own. I could slap something else in. I could do a Raspberry Pi. I could do a Pandora's box. I could do a full PC build, whatever. But I really need somebody to build the cabinet for me. If only they had made something that was user-friendly. If they had made something that was just generic enough that I could easily rebrand it as something else. If they would do something in an arcade style that was used on many different cabinets, many different games, and many different genres. Here you go. Here you go. I mean, look at this cabinet. Look at what you had back in the day. You had the shark fin design, which you could definitely mod, but you had a speaker in the control panel. You could add a lit marquee, but that's not a design that you're going to fool anybody thinking that was some kind of a callback to another cabinet from back in the day. It just didn't happen that way. It just wouldn't happen. The first generation legacies are just a disaster. They're a disaster. While they have a cool art, I mean, I love the yellow T molding is cool and the art style. It's just a disaster. It just looks like ass. It looks like ass and cancer. And this is not the first time I've used that analogy when describing an Arcade1up product. But this is definitely one of those, I think, appropriate uses of that analogy, of that descriptor. That is correct. Look it up. It's in the dictionary. It's even in the Geneva Convention. But when you moved on to something like, okay, all right, let me pick up one of these Yoga Flames because it has a 6-button layout that I want. But dude, I'm gonna have to get I'm gonna have to do a complete graphic package on this. Look at the side art. I got to get a new marquee. I got to get the control panel's got to be different. Well, maybe if I get the Yoga Flame, it has a generic control panel, just the Capcom granite, and I can make that work. But then it's got that red T molding, and I don't know. This is what you want. This is the cabinet you want if you want to make something else. I know it's kind of weird to say, but if you're looking for an Arcade1up cabinet to house whatever you want, this is the cabinet that you want. First off, right off the bat, you get the molded coin door. So you can go over to Retro 530 and get you one of those $20 lit coin doors. Super easy, super quick, super simple. Drill 2 holes, you're done, right? And now you've got this big black cabinet with a lit coin door, faux, but still lit more. And you've got the 6-button layout, dude. I mean, $500, and you can take that PCB out and you can sell that to somebody else. You can put it online. Put it on eBay, or you could and sell it and make some money. Even if you get $100, $200, you're making some money back from your original purchase. And then put a different PCB in there, or do a completely different build, or do a PC, or take that PCB and sell it, and you get one of those LCD breakout or the LVDS breakout boards, and now you can plug an HDMI into it or an RGB, and you can do whatever you want with this thing. And think about, okay, I understand the marquee, you're going to have to get printed. You're going to have to make something up there. You're going to have to do something with that. Go to Joe Sabo, go to Disability, go to a bunch of these different places, have something made. You can even go over to like Game On Graphics, somebody I use for something totally custom. If you just want a marquee that says multi-Cade, you can do that. But then look at the side art. All you have to do is have one image printed. It can't be more than like a 12 by 12. I mean, it's so easy to cover up that Street Fighter 2 artwork on the side. You might have something laying around you could slap over it, and you're done. I mean, 3 bumper stickers, and you're probably good. 3 bumper stickers would cover this whole side art, and you're done. And then just marquee, and you're good. The only thing is the bezel around the actual marquee of the actual monitor itself. But you could just cover that with something, tape if you wanted. and away you go. Or you could even get some kind of custom, you can get a custom bezel made, or what you could do, and this is something I would actually highly recommend, go to another Arcade1up cabinet you may have that has a black bezel. There's several cabinets they've come out with recently that just have a black bezel around the monitor, and they just say Arcade1up on the bottom. And you could easily cover that up. I mean, it's simple. And you have a multi-cade. This is the arcade cabinet that you could actually make a version of your favorite game of. And it would have like an arcade equivalent. It would have a old school equivalent. I mean, take your pick. Think of a cabinet. Think of a game. It probably came in a Dynamo HS5 back in the day. And there you go. It's so simple. It's so easy. And it's got the black T molding. If you want to change it up, get some of that 1/2-inch tape and add whatever color you want. It's so just plain and basic, and it's ready to go. This is what you want if you want something else, which is weird to say. Buy this to make it something else. But it's the most moddable. It really is. And this is something they should have done from the get-go. People would buy these up, even if you're not in love with those 14 games. Or even if you love, what if one of these 14 games is your favorite game? You could easily rebrand this cabinet as that game. So you could get some simple side art made for Armored Warriors, and slap it on the side. And then you just have to worry about the bezel around the monitor, and then just a marquee. You're done. Simple. It's so simple. Or you could do something that I'm thinking about doing, which is maybe take an existing cabinet and rob some of the parts off of it and put it in this cabinet. What am I talking about specifically? Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly yet because I've got a plan in my mind, in my brain, for something that I want to do on this channel. So, I think it's time to go ahead and move on to the final topic. Final topic. Talking about two sides of the same coin. So what are we talking about? We're talking about two radically different cabinets. We're talking about a Casinocade, and then we're talking about what seems to be, in retrospect, the cabinet they should have started with. A cabinet that's just generic enough where you could apply any graphic to it and it would make sense. Hell, you could have even gotten away with like Mortal Kombat on this. Not the best way to go. I think they did the better thing with the midway shape, but you could have put anything on this sort of cabinet and been good to go. You should have mimicked an original mass-produced generic cabinet from the get-go. The shark fin wasn't terrible, but and I think it served its purpose. But you should have definitely started this. You should have led with this for sure, 100%. You should have done this. But hey, hindsight is 2020. But I think what you have is something that is going to serve two very different purposes. You have the Casinocade, which I think is made for, I don't know who it's made for. Casino fans, people that want something generic in the corner that's arcade-like, that's casino-like, that's more aesthetic than anything else. And I think that's what's funny. We talked about in the beginning of all this, I just want an arcade-ish item in my basement, in my game room, in my family room, whatever. I want something similar. And then as this hobby went on, we wanted more. We wanted something more accurate. No more, I don't want something generic or weird. I want something that mimics the actual arcade experience. And we didn't get a lot of that. Now we're getting more of that on the arcade side. But over here it's almost as if the two have split. And now we have something that's generic, but it's not arcade focused. It's more mass quantity focused. But do the two need each other? Are they two sides of the same coin? The analogy is Batman and the Joker. They're two extremes, but they kind of need each other to justify their own existence. Joker is mayhem. Joker is evil, and you have Batman who is good, but is rigid, but is structured, but is lives by a code. You could say the same thing about these two cabins. Very, very different as far as their approaches. Do we need each other to survive? Do they both need each other to exist like Batman and Joker? Potentially. But that relies on us having an advocate within Arcade1up that wants to do the arcade thing. Let's do a mass-produced, let's do a generic, let's do a product that appeals to the multitude of people. And that's going to justify doing something that's more niche for the core audience. I hope that person exists. I hope that me exists within Arcade1up, but I'm not exactly sure that it still does. But I'm glad that this still exists. The person who's willing to super chat to this channel, Twisted Chris, the Twisted One for $1.99. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. Really appreciate it. 2 to 3 years from now, we may see some more weird stuff. I don't think that I am put off by that. I think some of the weird stuff is good. I think some of the weird stuff is some of the stuff that we now love. Some of the weird stuff from yesterday is some of the stuff we actually cherish from back in the day. But listen, that's just my 2 cents.
Finish him. Skrill wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
So, are they 2 sides of the same coin? Are they something that, needs the other? Potentially. Maybe. And I think that, like many people have stated in the past, if you want to make these weird things, these Casinocades, as long as it gets me what I want, that's fine. But that's the ends justifying the means. And I think that while in theory it sounds good, I wish they would focus more on the things that are laser focused on, authenticity. Arcade authenticity, Arcade1up, right? It's in the name, it's in the brand. That's the stuff that I want them to reintroduce, not just to me and you who are familiar with what came before, but the newer generation that, maybe has no recollection of. They never experienced that, because I think that is the way that not only this brand, but this hobby lives beyond our generations, is a reintroduction of the things that were so good from our childhood. We all talk about back in the day. Oh, this was better back then. It's one thing to tell a story. It's another thing to show a story and to have some kind of a gateway or a terminal back to that time. And that's what some of these nostalgia bait companies, some of these arcade companies could capitalize on if they truly embrace it 100%. Lean into the things that are familiar maybe to you and I, but are so foreign to the current generation. And it seems fresh and new and real to them. I think the only way that you do that is that you lean on the things that are foundational to this hobby. And that's going to be some of the things we see with this new cabinet, some of the things we see with the games. And while I'm not going to mind a Casinocade as long as it gets me something that reminds me of the real arcade. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Once again, it is that time to go ahead and wrap it up, man. It's been a great one. It's been a good one. A lot of discussion. I know it's only been one new reveal, but I think it's revealed a lot about some of the focus about Arcade1up that I enjoy. This returning back to an original thing, that existed before and trying to mimic that, moving away from some of this weird stuff, but then also still acknowledging some of the weird stuff still exists. Is it going to all pan out the end? I sure as hell hope so. But before we go, we got to talk about the poll question, the number one question. Well, at least tonight on this Saturday night. We broke 200 votes, guys. Thank you so much, guys and gals, men and women. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate both of you, all of you. 208 votes in the poll. Real quick, if you don't know, here's the poll question. Rate your level of excitement for the new Arcade1up Street Fighter 2 Deluxe cabinet. We've talked about it in excruciating detail, probably too much, so much that you're just ready to not talk about it anymore. But hopefully I was able to kind of cover some stuff that you haven't seen before, some of the details, some of the minutia that is important when you're talking about a design change. But the question, once again, rate your level of excitement for the new Arcade1up Street Fighter 2 Deluxe cabinet. You had 4 options. Super excited. Exactly what I wanted. You had positive, which is, there's more good than bad here. You had number 3, your third option was neutral. Maybe I'll catch it on sale. Whatever. I'm indifferent, right? And then number 4, your final option was negative. It's just rehashed garbage. I don't like it. It sucks. Negative. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. Can we get one more vote? I got 2. There we go. 210 votes. Let's go ahead and wrap up the poll. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Saturday night with so much other stuff going on. I appreciate all of you being here. It's been pretty awesome. Let's talk about those. Let's talk about those results. So coming in 4th place, I'm not too surprised about this. Coming in 4th place is, I'm super excited. Exactly what I wanted with only 5% of the votes. Not a lot there, but I kind of get that. I kind of thought that would be the 4th place offering. What I'm surprised at is the rest. Coming in 3rd place is positive. There's more good than bad here with only 20%. That's not good. That's not good. Coming in 2nd place is neutral. Maybe I'll catch it on sale. You're indifferent at 34%. That's insane. That's incredible. So we're talking about 59% of you are neutral or, positive. Barely more than half. Of course, that means that coming in at 59%, you think this is rehash garbage. Damn, rehash garbage. That's not good. That's not good at all. 39%. It's not good. Man. Negative. Don't like it. Waiting for a sale, maybe. I think that rehash is something Arcade1up has to consider. Now, I know this is the year of rehashes, but if I could have just a couple more minutes of your time, here's the real problem. You want to hang out with me for a little, just one more minute? Let me pour myself another glass or a partial glass. I want to tell you what the real problem is. Those of you, I got 129 people. You're going to get the real me right now. Ready? 129 people here. Let me tell you what's really going on. 130. All right. Scene of the stream, scene of the night. Fox has had his glass. He was getting ready to sign off, but now he's getting all serious. Let me tell you what's really going on. As I sip this bourbon. All right. Are you ready for this? Okay. You got an official Arcade1up employee telling everybody that next year is the year of the XLs, the 19-inch monitors, the big cabinets. Why in the hell would you buy anything this year? Why in the hell would you buy anything this year? While I'm excited about this design and it looks great, and I meant everything I said in the stream, if you got a guy out there talking about, well, next year, and John D is just as guilty. Next year, XL, next year. This year's the year of the rehash. Why the hell would you buy any damn thing this year? Why wouldn't you just save your money? That $500 you got in your pocket could probably stay there. That's $600 in your pocket. Should probably stay there. Why would you buy anything in 2023? I'll talk to you like a friend. I'll talk to you like a buddy. Do you really think that next year they're not going to come out with an Street Fighter XL. This cabinet looks cool. This cabinet looks great. This is dope. This is what I'm talking about. They're hitting me they're pulling my heartstrings with the Dynamo cabinet. I'm digging it. But if you're telling me next year is the year of XLs, why in the hell would I waste my money this year? I don't give a damn what you come out with this year. Why would I bother? And that's the problem with marketing and branding and all that stuff. You out there talking about XLs next year. Why would I buy anything this year? I mean, I don't listen. If they come out with an XL this year, I don't think they're coming out. I'm sorry. If they come out with Time Crisis this year, that's not going to see an XL for a while. I don't think we're going to see an XL shooting cab for a while. I think the first one is probably going to be T2. T2. T2 will be the first XL shooter. But listen, you got everybody, you got an official Arcade1up representative saying next year is the year of the XL. Why in the hell would you buy anything this year? Friend to friend. What happens if next year they come out with a Dynamo cabinet? Like this sick design. I'm telling you, I'm digging it. Digging the design. Digging the shape, digging the size, digging all this cool stuff. You know how bad I would kick myself in the no-no parts if next year they come out with the same cab, but it's an XL? Talk to me. Talk to me. Why would you bother? Why buy a Deluxe when they might come out with the same damn cab next year? That's the problem that they have. It's a messaging issue. You can't say that next year is the year of XLs and expect me to buy a 17-inch monitor this year. That's my struggle. That's the issue I'm having. Is Fox going to buy this cabinet? I am going to buy this cabinet. But I've got a very specific purpose for this cabinet. If you're a fan of this channel, I'm going to buy this cabinet. I'm going to give you a total review. And then I'm going to give you a total transformation of the cabinet. For all the reasons I just said. You talk about something generic enough to mod, generic enough to convert to anything else you want. I've got a plan for this cabinet. So this cabinet, I will buy it in October, and you're going to get a twofold review. You're going to get an initial review. This is what you get, right? Initial, straight up. I'm going to give it to you straight. Here's what you get. And then I'm going to show you a way to convert this to something a little more desirable if you already have another cabinet. I'm not going to tell you right now. You got to tune in. You got to be a subscriber. But I'm going to show you how, if you already have another cabinet, how you should be able to just swap some parts and make this the way better version of the other cabinet. But the bigger problem is it's the XL problem. I think the problem with the XLs is that they overplayed their hand. They weren't ready to come out with the XLs, but they thought they needed to. So they came out with a TN monitor and people were mad at the monitor, but those people were short-sighted. I told you the XL cabinet is the real 3/4 scale cabinet. The XL is where it's at. If you want a 3/4 scale version of a real cabinet, you want an XL cabinet. And if you're telling me that next year is the year of the XLs, I'm telling all of you, unless you're dying to have whatever they're putting out this year, unless you just are going to die unless you have it, I'm telling you to save your money. Because if next year is the year of the XLs, like I just said, why in the holy hell would you buy something this year? Now, call me a shill. Everybody don't work too hard. I'll see all of you next week at the regular time, Sunday night. Be good. Don't work too hard. And I will see all of you next time. Peace.